It's a bigger font.
that only sits there,
I appreciate it. But it's taken me a long time to make that happen.
yeah,
That's been a huge project,
yeah. Oh, good, okay.
but it's there.
Is it right here? Okay. All right, so I am going to ask for some kind of an update on the garden. I was out at the Air Museum yesterday. It looks like crap, and we had to do the filming yesterday for our club. So, well, I'm just gonna take, I'm just gonna ask that so that they can hear it, so that they know, and then Jamil gave me this for a sponsorship that he's sponsoring. He said, sponsoring it. We've done this every year. It's for the youth awards. Okay.
Okay, I started the meeting.
We have sponsored it.
Yeah, ultimately, if it's not too much trouble, Justin, to get my old one back, only because my laptop makes me wear my glasses. Or just before the 2nd, or the 4th, or whatever date that is. Morning, Jeff. Good, how are you?
That's what I just gave to Tim.
Oh, apparently we've sponsored.
Yes, we've sponsored it in the past.
Double duty, yes.
Yeah. And Eastern is sponsoring it.
Morning, Sarah. We have 2 minutes. Is my mic on? Morning, Director.
Jamil, yesterday when I went to the filming and I put my
Funny, he
lights
didn't mention that to me.
He's covering all his bases.
Yes, as he does, and that's why he's so awesome that
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah, I thought he was gonna, good morning, Foster. I thought he was gonna tell me it was on the agenda. And I said, so first thing I said, oh, original? No, 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 I know.
Yeah, exactly.
we have 1 minute.
We have lots of people. What? Oh, good. I think I might have done it in record time. They weren't sure.
And I do show
Yeah,
9:30.
It was like 40 minutes. Good morning. I would like to call to order the board meeting for Western Water on May 21, 2025 at 9:30. And Ms. Ford, may we have roll call, please?
Yes, thank you. Good morning. Director Gardner.
I am present.
Director Torres.
Here.
Director Denstedt.
Present?
Director Risby.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning, President Roten.
I am here.
Thank
Good
you,
morning.
President Roten. You do have a quorum today.
All right. We'll move to the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Fanny Angulo, Customer Service Representative 2. I hope. Oh, there we go. Ms. Angulo, before you go back,
Don't escape yet,
Can-
Fanny.
can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've worked for Western?
Yes, my name is Fanny, and I've been with Western for 10 years.
Ah,
It's flown by, and I love working for Western. Excited.
And
great.
what group are you in for the
I'm in
board?
customer service. I'm a customer representative.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to public comments. Do we have any public comments today on non-agenda items?
I have no request to speak, and I have received no written comments.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go to the consent calendar. Were there any questions or items to be pulled from the board?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Just for clarification, I am going to abstain from item A only, because I wasn't here. So, whenever you're ready, Ms. Ford.
Thank you. For items B and C, 5B and C on the consent calendar, Director Gardner? Aye. Director Torres?
Yes.
Director Dinstedt?
Aye.
Director Rizvi?
Aye.
President Roten?
Yes,
Thank you. The motion carries 5-0. For item 5A, Director Gardner? Aye. Director Torres?
Yes.
Director Dinstedt?
Aye.
Director Rizvi?
Aye.
President Roten?
abstain.
Thank you. The motion carries 4-1 with Director Roten abstaining.
Okay, and Mr. Miller, any items to be added to the agenda?
There's nothing to add to the agenda today.
All righty, we will move on to item 7. Whoops. Action agenda. Item A, adopt resolution 3345, setting forth water and sewer availability charges proposed for the Murrieta service area within Western Municipal Water District, and setting of a public hearing on proposed fiscal year 2025, 2026 water and sewer availability charges for the Murrieta service area. Mr. Miller,
Lynchie Kantuba is going to be presenting this one.
thank you.
Good morning, Director. Staff is respectfully requesting that the Board of Directors set a public hearing date for the placement of the Murrieta service, the water and sewer availability charges on the County of Riverside tax rolls. Western Water places an annual water and wastewater availability charges on the tax roll ever since Western Water merged with the Murrieta County Water District back in 2005. Some agencies refer to availability charges as standby charges. The water availability charge and sewer availability charge are each at $21 per acre, with fraction of an acre rounded up to the nearest whole acre. And staff is recommending the same rate to be applied for fiscal year 25-26. These are the same rates since fiscal year 2002, 2003, as assessed by the former Murrieta County Water District. The availability charge is applied to every parcel in the Murrieta service area. By doing so, it promotes cost sharing between existing customers and unconnected property owners who will eventually derive benefit from the water and sewer facility when they are ready to connect to our water and sewer systems. Availability charges, along with customer pay water and wastewater charges, which are billed monthly to customer, provide the necessary revenue to pay for the operating and maintaining the water and wastewater systems and the related debt service on capital facilities in the Murrieta service area. By collecting these charges, we would add approximately $276,000, of which approximately $138,000 is in the water water fund, and another approximately $138,000 in the sewer fund for the Murrieta service area. To accommodate the deadlines such as placing these charges on the tax roll, staff is recommending setting the public hearing date staff is recommending setting the public hearing at the regular board meeting at 9:30 a.m. on July 2nd, 2025. This concludes my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions on this item from the board? No. No? Do we have a motion?
I was gonna move it, yes.
Okay, sorry.
I'll second it.
That was Director Torres and Vice President Risby.
Thank you. Call for the vote. Director Gardner.
Aye.
Director Torres.
Yes.
Director Dinstedt.
Aye.
Director Risby.
Aye.
President Roten.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion carries 5-0.
okay. We'll move on to item B, and I neglected to ask for public comment on A.
Oh,
We had no public comment on A, and I have no request to speak for item B.
Okay.
While we are on item B on the dais, you will see an updated staff letter for 7B that corrects the detail section. It does not affect the agenda nor the ability to vote on the item.
Thank you. And item B, adopt resolution 3346, electing to have charges for sewer service collected on the county tax roll and setting a public hearing for collection of such charges on the tax roll. I have a feeling.
Lynchy's going to handle this one,
I
too.
was gonna say, I have a feeling I know who's up.
So for this, similar to the previous item, staff is respectfully requesting that the Board of Directors set a public hearing date for the placement of sewer charges on the county Riverside tax roll. For many of our sewer customers in the La Sierra service area, water service is provided by the city of Riverside. As such, Western Water is unable to collect delinquent sewer charges through shutting off water service. To address this issue, since 1991, sewer charges have been collected by annually placing them on the county tax roll for the affected properties pursuant to Section 5473 and 5473.1 of the California Health and Safety Code. The code requires Western Water to conduct a hearing to consider all objection or protests to the proposed charges. A final report of charges and affected partial will be available at the public hearing. Revenue from the sewer charges of approximately $1.4 million to be collected on the tax roll is included in the adopted fiscal year 25-26 operating budget. There are approximately 1,940 customers, or about 40% of the total customer in the La Sierra service area, where Western Water collect annual sewer charges on the tax roll. I would like to emphasize that the sewer rate for fiscal year 25-26 will be presented to the board for public hearing in June 2025. So this action is not to set or change the proposed sewer rate. Rather, it is to set a public hearing that will allow Western to place a partial annual sewer charge on the tax bill for collection purposes. To accommodate deadlines such as placing the charges on the tax roll, staff is recommending setting the public hearing to be held at the regular board meeting scheduled for 9:30 a.m. on July 2nd, 2025.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Director Gardner. Director Torres.
Yes.
Director Dinstedt.
Aye.
Director Risby.
Aye.
President Roten.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, moving on to item C, approve the Meridian Building Energy Efficiency Initiatives Project. Mr.
Lynchy doesn't get to present this one.
Aw.
Sure.
Dean Standing Warrior will, though. Dean, welcome.
Good morning, thank you, Craig. Good morning, directors. Good morning, staff. As Craig mentioned, Dean Standing Warrior, Deputy Director of Maintenance Operations here at Western. Here today to present the Meridian Building Energy Efficiency Initiatives projects for your consideration. So our recommendation today is the Engineering Operations and Water Resources Committee and staff recommend the Board of Directors approve the Meridian Building Energy Efficiency Initiatives Project with a budget of $743,850 under the Asset Replacement Reserve in accordance with the board-approved capital improvement and facilities plan for fiscal year 24-25. And authorize the issuance of a purchase order for Golden Sun Firm and Company of Van Nuys, California, in the amount of $619,875,000 for the Meridian Building Energy Efficiency Initiatives Project. It's a long title. So, in 2023, Western Municipal Water District, along with Black and Veatch, performed a condition assessment of the Meridian Building, the one we're in now. The board has seen and approved 2 other projects associated with this condition assessment, one being the repair of the existing HVAC and one for redesign of the existing HVAC moving forward. That assessment also identified the need to replace the aging internal lighting within the building and the control systems here at Meridian. This proposed project includes the design and installation of energy-efficient LED lighting and lighting controls throughout the building to meet current industry standards and California energy regulations. These improvements will enhance operational efficiency, improve staff safety, and reduce energy usage, all in alignment with California Building Energy Efficiency Standards under Title 24 and Western Strategic Priorities. So why are we doing this? Why is this project necessary for the building? The current lighting system has exceeded its useful life. Fixtures are failing throughout the building. Staff has had to salvage parts from other lights to keep other lights running at this point, which is no longer sustainable for us. Where to go? So some unoccupied areas now have only minimal lighting available in these different areas. So the project addresses that issue by upgrading the entire system to modern LED fixtures and controls. It also ensures code compliance, improves building safety, and lowers long-term maintenance and energy costs going to the LED solution. So this project covers the full design, purchase, installation, and testing of the new lighting system throughout the entire building here. Just want to speak about the bidding process that we went through for this project. It was bid through Planet Bids. 10 contractors responded to that bid. 4 were found to be non-responsive or failed to meet bid requirements. The remaining 6 bids were reviewed and determined to be responsive and responsible and are listed in the staff letter for reference. Golden Sun Firm was the lowest bid and is our recommendation today. So again, recommendation is to approve the Meridian Building Energy Efficient Initiatives Project with the budget of $743,850, as well as authorize a purchase order for Golden Sun Firm Company of Van Nuys, California, in the amount of $619,875. We do have Al Rod with us today from Golden Sun Firm, so if we have any questions for him or myself, we'd be happy to take those at this time.
Okay, and any questions from the board? I just have one quick one. In reading through the staff report, and I know we had this in committee, and I don't know why it didn't come to me then, but knowing our staff the way I do, I know you guys are on top of things like rebates and grants and those kinds of things, but this brought to mind, and again, this is probably going back easily 5 years, WRCOG used to have some sort of a program for LED lighting. It's probably come and gone, but I just made a note to ask. I didn't know if Edison had anything. I know sometimes when companies and agencies do these improvements, there is money available, kind of like what we do with conservation, things that we offer. So just wanted to double check to see.
Yeah. No, we're always reviewing those and trying to take advantage of them wherever we can, especially our Water Resources Group with all of our grants and everything. But we've looked at all that and continue to do so. It's not like we can't jump on that now, but we have taken those steps.
Okay,
For sure.
I figured that was going to
Yep.
be the answer, but I just wanted to double
Yeah,
check.
Director, we do track all of that, and Gary Miller, I don't see Gary here today, is kind of our energy hub for all of that. So, I get these flyers and I funnel email flyers. I funnel all those opportunities through him, and we get a lot of them. We get a lot of consultants that want to come and help you find grants
Oh, yeah.
to do that.
I bet.
So we do the best we can tracking all that. But I think a lot of what you've heard in the past, those have kind of sunsetted.
Yeah.
The LED replacements. And now it's, a lot of it that's left is like traffic lights and street lights and things like that, not indoor LED lights. But our staff has been really good at surviving with our lighting, literally borrowing light fixtures from places that don't have a lot of staff in them, because you just can't buy these fixtures anymore when a light bulb goes out. We need a major overhaul.
That kind of brought to my mind some home repairs that we've done through the years, where we've borrowed from a bathroom we weren't using for the bathroom that we were,
We
so.
actually redid this room here in lieu to use the parts that we were able to take out of here and use them throughout the rest of the building, so. We've been limping along.
All right, no, thank you so much. And Ms. Ford, do we have any public comment? Okay,
Move to approve. I'll second.
okay,
You ready for the vote?
yes, whenever you're ready.
Director Gardner.
Aye.
Director Torres.
Yes.
Director Denstedt.
Aye.
Director Risby.
Aye.
President Roten.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, we'll move on to item D, approve a project budget and award a professional services contract to Lee and Rowe Incorporated for the Western Water Recycling Facility Recycled Water Pond Erosion Prevention Project. Mr. Miller.
There's got to be a good acronym in there somewhere. Derek's here. This went through, all of these items went through EOWR.
Okay, great. Good morning, directors. We're recommending approval of a $449,315 contract with Lee and Rowe for design services addressing slope failure and erosion around the recycled water ponds at Western Water Recycling Facility, or WAR for short. There's an acronym. The project is being phased, with phase 1 focusing on stabilizing the most vulnerable slopes. Lee and Rowe's design will incorporate geotechnical input to develop the effective stabilization solutions. So the action is two-part. We're asking for you to approve a budget in the amount of $550,000 for this project, and then the award of the contract in the amount of $449,315 to Lee and Rowe. I have visiting in person Boyana Angelova and Amit Trendu Maji from Lee and Rowe, who are attending in person. So we're available to answer any questions.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board? No? Come on, Brenda.
Of course, I'm going to ask the question. I can't disappoint everybody after all of these years to not ask the same question. And this is obviously for the folks here in the room. So thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you attending in person. It's always so nice. If you could come up to the podium so everybody could hear you on the mic, that would be fabulous. You know, this is just for design, so we're not going to have any issues, right? Because I'm your no change order girl.
Shouldn't be any issues.
Great. And deliver this on time and as expected?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. I move for approval.
Thank you. So thank you for giving us
Thank
the
you.
opportunity.
Okay, we're ready for the vote whenever you are.
Director Gardner.
Aye.
Director Torres.
Yes.
Director Denstedt.
Aye.
Director Risby.
Aye.
President Roten.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion carries 5-0.
thank you. Were there any public comments?
There were none.
Okay, thanks. All right. I'm going to get that right here, one of
It's all
these
good.
meetings.
It's your meeting, and we go with yours,
Yeah,
with your
but
schedule.
It's important that I touch base on that. Item E, consider awarding professional services contracts to 4 consulting firms in the amount of $6,400,000 for construction inspection services for fiscal years 2025-26 and 2026-27. It looks like
All right,
Derek
Derek, all
is.
yours.
Great, thank you. We're requesting approval to award professional services contracts to 4 highly qualified firms. That's Krager and Stewart, Golden State Consultants, Valley CM, and Albert A. Webb Associates for construction inspection services. Each contract would be for $800,000 per year over a 2-year term. That's going to total $6.4 million across all firms. These firms were selected through a competitive evaluation process and will provide inspection support to district-funded capital projects, developer-led projects, and observation inspections related to third-party construction near our infrastructure. Since Western does not maintain in-house inspectors, this approach provides both flexibility and specialized expertise without long-term cost of added staff. The costs are covered by capital project budgets or developer, which is customer-paid accounts, and are not expected to significantly impact the operating budget. I will note that for that third item of observation inspections related to third-party construction near our infrastructure, that's where somebody else is working in a public street. They are near our infrastructure or too near, so we're like, we better watch that. And so that generally we can't charge for that. It's not very frequent, but it does come up from time to time. So again, the requested action is to approve those contracts, as I mentioned above. And we do have visitors attending in the room. We have Chuck Krieger from Krieger and Stewart. We have, let's see, Tim Manning and Christian Rudell from Golden State Consultants. Let me
I
see
think
if
they're on
have
Zoom.
them. Oh, they're on Zoom. I should have remembered that. And also in person, we have Reed Chilton from Albert A. Webb Associates. And we have Paul Milchel from Valley CM, also on Zoom. Staff and consultants are available to answer any questions.
Okay, are there any questions from the board?
I don't have a question, but I just want to emphasize how important this contract is to us, and that we have enough qualified firms to handle a changing workload. And these are all good firms. I'm familiar with all of them. I think it's a great proposal, and I move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I think there's another comment.
Yes. So, Derek, are any of these firms that we haven't worked with in the past, or do we have some type of a work relationship with all of these firms from some point?
Oh, most certainly. We've worked with all these firms in this capacity before.
Okay,
So, and they've done excellent work for us. And they're the ones who try to make sure we don't have change orders and make sure it's on time and on
They're
budget.
fighting for you, Director.
they all know the history, don't they? And I just wanted to see if there were any of the attendees from any of these firms that would like to get up and say anything before we move on the item.
Anyone here? I knew it.
Good morning.
Good
Chuck
morning.
Krieger. Ooh, was that too loud? I'm
No.
following
Oh,
him.
no, you're good.
Chuck Krieger with Krieger and Stewart. We're happy to continue supporting the district and their endeavors, and no change orders, and it'll be on time.
Absolutely love it. All
Ahead
right.
of schedule is allowed.
Right, and ahead of schedule and under budget is also allowed, right? Absolutely. Any of our participants on Zoom wishing to make any comments? Oh, here, one more person in person.
Yes.
Perfect, absolutely.
Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, Reed Chilton with Webb Associates, same thing. We're here to fight for you.
Amen.
We're excited to be a part of the team. You know, we have a great team of consultants, and we're happy to be part of it. So thank you.
Great, thank you for being here, we certainly appreciate it. Okay,
Now
This is Tim Manning from Golden State. Again, we just, are so pleased to get picked again. And yes, we will. No change orders is a good thing, but most of all, compliance. We make sure that everything's planned, specs, and it's followed through.
absolutely, couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for being here today, appreciate you joining us on Zoom.
Thank you.
This is Christian, also from Golden State Consultants. We just want to thank the board for this opportunity. I've personally been working for Western now for over 16 years, so it's an honor and we're privileged and we're very happy to continue. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Is that everybody?
This is Paul, Valley CM again. Just to echo everybody else, we're grateful for the opportunity and look forward to keep working for the district.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. We certainly appreciate all of the collaboration that we get from you folks and the support we get, and appreciate your good work. So, and we appreciate that you remember no change orders, so.
Did we have any public comments on this item?
We do not.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board? And did we have the motion?
We have a motion.
We have a motion and a second.
Motion is
Yes.
Director Torres.
And I think we're ready
All
for
right.
the vote.
Director Gardner,
Aye.
Director Torres,
Yes.
Director Dinstedt.
Aye.
Director Rizvi,
Aye.
President Roten.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, directors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move into reports. Mr. General Counsel, do we have a report today?
Good morning, President and board members. I don't have anything substantive to report, but I wanted to let you know that the first week of June, I'll be performing my favorite charity bicycle ride the whole week, so I won't be here. Instead, our Assistant Legal Counsel, Holland Seward, will be here. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, for both of those things. General Manager and staff reports. Mr. Miller.
All right. Let's start with California Water for All, SB 72. It did move on to the suspense calendar with the Senate appropriations. So that was expected, and I think that'll be just fine. It'll come off suspense in a couple of weeks, probably. So we don't anticipate anything there, since the author of the bill is the chair of the Appropriations Committee. So I think we'll be okay. Big news that came out last week is we released the study on the cost of inaction if the state doesn't continue to build water infrastructure. And that study is very dramatic. And this is something that all of the board members can publicize with our delegation and the business community, because the numbers that are in that study are eye-popping. We think about, well, Delta Conveyance is going to be a $20 billion project. I don't know if the state or we can afford that. The cost of inaction study shows that without developing that 9 million acre feet by 2040, we will have an economic impact to the state of over $14 billion per year. $14 billion per year. And a loss of an estimated 67,000 jobs per year, and 1.5 to 3 million acres of ag land taken out of production. So, and that, the study isn't even talking about kind of the follow-on economic impacts of losing 3 million acres of ag production. So it's not looking at, you know, the restaurants in those communities, or the truck maintenance people, or the, you know, all the stores and the schools and everything else that's going to be impacted when you lose that much acreage. So the study is really, I'm really glad that we got this done finally. It's been a long time coming, but it is something that business people can really gravitate towards. I think the business community has a hard time figuring out if Delta Conveyance is worth the cost or not, because it's expensive. And this study says you can't afford not to do these things. And you look at Sites Reservoir, you know, is roughly a $5 billion project. That's nothing. It pays for itself in a half a year. So anyway, so that study was released last Wednesday. Sarah and her team and California Water for All and KP are doing a great job of getting the word out and releasing it. We've had op-eds already out in Sacramento and in the Central Valley in Senator Caballero's area. We are going to actually go and have a meeting next week with legislators in Sacramento to tell them about the study and promote the study. And the target will be Water Parks and Wildlife and some of the other committees that we have to go to with SB 72.
Smart.
So there's big push on that.
And if we go to californiawaterforall.com, will the link to the study be on that website?
Sarah? I'll say yes, but Sarah can give you a more accurate answer.
Confirm yes, and it's as a pop-up, so as you immediately come to the site, no clicking required, it just
Oh.
shows up in your face.
Okay, great, thank you. Sorry, sorry to interrupt your
Yeah,
train
no
of
problem.
thought there.
That's good question. There's been a lot of media promotion. I did an interview with the Farm Journal, so I'm not sure how I'm ending up in the Farm Journal, but this is cool. And then we've got an interview scheduled with NPR affiliate to talk more about that. Kind of big news that also came out same day, last week at Aqua on Wednesday, was the governor is weighing in heavily on Delta Conveyance. So he has a trailer bill package that he is pushing in the legislature. It does several things, but it's trying to remove a lot of barriers to moving Delta Conveyance forward. So it's limiting legal challenges. It's changing some of the rules on how DWR can help finance the project. This is really in the weeds, but it's kind of taking out a hurdle that the state board initiated because they have to do a change of point of use of water to where the new Delta intakes will be. And the state board hearing officer tied the reevaluation of that point of diversion to, well, maybe the state water project doesn't have the right to the same amount of water. And so they're trying to trim down the state water project's rights. Well, that's really important to us because that's Metropolitan has those rights for 2 million acre feet a year, and we don't want that trimmed. And so the governor's proposal would take that hurdle out. So it's really important. Sarah and myself are on top of this. We're going to work really hard to get all of our legislative delegation on board. Anything you can do, directors, to promote it. On the dais, you have a press release that Grace is putting out. We're going to get this out today. Yeah. So read through that, use that. We'll provide any information that you need. When I go up next week to educate on SB 72 and our release, we're also going to tour the offices of all of our delegation next Wednesday to try and make sure they're all on board. But this is a really big push. The governor's finally done more than saying, hey, I'm going to get this thing permitted. This is, kind of the nuts and bolts of how he's going to help move this along. So it's big. Yes, I see a question.
Yes, I have a question. So on this piece that you're doing, are we going to get this in electronic form, and who are you sending it out to? Because I would love to share this with Met.
Certainly great questions. This will be posted to our website, distributed through our digital news platform, shared with our media, and we'd be happy to share it with the board in its final PDF form so that you can advance it along. We'll also be sharing it out with our wholesale customers, our retail agencies, and our community leaders. We have strategies coming together to mobilize the entire region, so they're also using the same talking points and talking to their legislators as well. So expect that, end of the week.
Now, one thing, so I met with Devin yesterday, and Devin has asked us to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support Metropolitan on this. And I know Adon is up in Sacramento pushing it really hard also.
And
So we're following through with their request to, make sure Southern California is loud about this need.
That
Yeah.
was my question.
Because that's what the governor, we get pushback from the governor that he's not hearing from Southern California legislators that this is important.
Okay. Well, and Met is taking a trip up there. I'm going to be a part of that on Tuesday, and we're meeting with a delegation of legislators on Wednesday.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, I want to also kind of guide you a little bit on California Water for All and SB 72, and then this effort. Because SB 72, we don't talk about any particular projects.
Right.
We talk about, we got to figure out how to convey more water across the state, whether it's Delta Conveyance or federal conveyance facilities, or we build new facilities. SB 72 isn't there. We're just talking about we have to be able to move water, and we have to have a plan to do that. It could include Delta, it could not include Delta. So I just want to make sure when you're talking about this SB 72, it's a planning effort. We're not talking or endorsing any projects, but Western has already taken a position to endorse Delta conveyance. And so this is the Western hat, not the SB 72 hat, that's saying this is of paramount importance to our future in Riverside. Okay.
Craig, before we move on to your next item, are we making a targeted effort to get the county and the cities within at least our service area to take an active position?
We
If we're
definitely.
not, we should.
We definitely will, and we'll talk to the chamber. And I also want to talk to Patricia Locke Dawson, who is I think the chair of the big city
13.
mayors.
Yeah.
So there's like, what do they call it, the Big 12, I think, or
13.
something? 13, the Big 13, and I think she's the chair now.
She is.
So I don't think we'll get all the mayors on board, but she can certainly push that really hard up there.
Well, and this would be very helpful to send over to WRCOG too, to have put on the agenda for June to support. Because that hits all the 18 cities on this side. So,
And there's a little bit of an urgency because there already was a budget hearing that this apparently did not do really well in last night.
no.
I got a call from Ed Manning this morning to tell me that.
Would be probably worth speaking with the building trades and the carpenters. I know they're very bought into the conveyance project.
Yes, for sure. Any leverage or tricks you have, that would be great. That'd be great. Any other questions on that? That's kind of a big one.
Yeah.
Aqua Spring Conference went great. I feel sorry for you that didn't get to go. We missed you. It was busy. I was on a panel talking about budget-based rates. It was kind of it was a prize fight between two of us that were budget-based rates and two that were not. I think we won, but they called it a tie. I don't think it was a tie. Yeah, one of the panelists who was not a budget-based rate at the end of his thing said, "We're going to look into budget-based rates."
Oh, that's a win. Oh my gosh, that's a win.
And then I think we had great panelists on a panel I got to moderate on water supply and innovation of collaboration. And it was Dan Deming from Water Authority, Willie Whittlesey from Yuba, and Heather Dyer from San Bernardino, and Sean McGuire from the state board, who are all talking about we have to plan and figure out different ways to move big projects forward. We can't do this on our own as individual agents anymore. So I thought it was a really good discussion. A lot of meetings up there, met GMs. It's always a great time. Everyone's up there, they're trapped, can't get away, so you get an opportunity to meet with the other Met GMs. We did a lot of talking about treated water surcharge, which Director Denstad is going to be in the middle of that discussion over the next couple of months. We have really built a strong coalition of supporters. I think we have 20 entities that are all supporting one option, and we have one entity that's going the other option, another option. And so this, in my time, it's very rare that we have 20 agencies that all agree on an option up at Metropolitan. It's taken a lot of work to get there. So we're really trying to kind of land that aircraft. Had meetings with Water Authority, our IEOC caucus members, and several of our retail member agencies up there. So it's a lot of people think it's kind of a waste of time to go to Aqua, but not for me. It is action-packed with good opportunities to meet with people that you can't get time with everywhere else, including the Met GM. Rate outreach is going great. It's drawing to a close. I met with Mission Grove Neighborhood Association. Director Torres joined us there with the staff. I thought that went well. We had a lot less questions than we had last time we went and talked to them. We had very few questions, actually. So that's good. I hope we're answering all of the public's questions. My last public meeting is tonight at Raglan at 7 o'clock. So Tim's already met with their board. I feel like I'm gonna, hopefully I say the same thing Tim does. Because I think it might be just basically their board and myself and Nydia tonight, but we're doing it. I don't know if Director Torres was rumored to maybe try and attend also. But looking forward to getting to in front of the board on the 4th. And staff's preparing that presentation and looking forward to that. So that's 6 p.m. on June 4th. Let's see, what else do I got? You have a card in front of you. Safety has printed these cards. You can have one. Sometimes we've heard that people want to make a claim against Western for something, I don't know, water damage, a rock, or a leak or something. Now you have contact information. You can keep this, you can hand this out to whoever you want. We'll give you more cards if you want. All the operators will carry these in their trucks. So when they get approached in public saying, hey, I want to talk to someone, they've got something they can just hand to them and not have to worry about telling them, well, call this person or call that person. So just trying to provide better customer service. With that, Ryan, it's good news? It's good news. Good news. Josh? Water supply update. We're glad to see Ryan. Ryan's been vacationing at the courthouse for a month.
I don't think it's
in jury duty. Ryan tagged Rick, and now Rick's on a multiple week trial. Same courthouse. Yeah, work's never looked so good.
I've never been so excited to see him.
Yeah.
Good morning, President Roden, members of the board. Happy to be here. Great to see everybody. We'll jump right in. Let's begin with a look at the current hydrologic conditions across key regions. So it took some time off, and I was doing some reconnaissance, as you see, up in the Sierra Nevadas. A little bit of multitasking. Northern Sierra precipitation stands at 109% of normal, so really good there. The snowpack's just 40% of normal. In the upper Colorado River Basin conditions here, you see that we're holding at 89% of normal for the precipitation and 55% for the snowpack. These levels set the stage for the reservoir inflows and eventually the supplies. This really helps with our planning over the next several months. Looking at California's major reservoirs, as of May 18th, the big 6 mega reservoirs are collectively at 90% of capacity. So for comparison, 2023 was at 84%, 2024 at 90%. Normal conditions are about 80%, so 90% is really good. It places us at 111% of normal, and this really is a positive trend that is reflected by the carryover storage and the beneficial impacts of back-to-back-to-back wet years. So that also really explains why you see all the blue on the right side there with the reservoirs across the state. So really positive there, healthy levels. The consecutive wet years have brought significant benefits to California's water supply. Lake Oroville is on track to reach full capacity for the 3rd consecutive year, something that's never happened before for the 2nd largest reservoir in California. On the right, Lake Shasta, California's largest reservoir, is currently at about 94% full, which is an impressive 117% of historical average. It's a great visual reminder of how much water the system is currently holding. These conditions provide a strong foundation as we transition into the summer and highlight the importance of capturing and storing water when it's available. Looking at the local conditions as of May 18th, Prado Dam sits below measurable levels. Seven Oaks Dam holds about 2,000 acre-feet. As far as local reservoirs, Diamond Valley Lake stands at 96% full and Lake Matthews at 82% of capacity. Together, these reservoirs have over 900,000 acre-feet of storage. It's great to see that these key local reservoirs are in these conditions, even as local rainfall continues to trend below average for the year. Here we're spotlighting a key local asset that's helping the region prepare for both floods and droughts. Seven Oaks Dam is a prime example of infrastructure serving multiple benefits. Traditionally built for flood control, the 550-foot tall dam now plays a critical role in our regional water supply resilience. supporting stormwater capture. The dam enables a diversion of water to the downstream recharge facilities for regional use. This video shows that vision in action. What you're seeing here is the Santa Ana River Enhanced Recharge Project, where stormwater captured from Seven Oaks Dam is being recharged into the local groundwater basins. We're proud to report that the completion of the Phase 1B project delivered through strong regional collaboration. The project includes a 600-acre site, 20 new groundwater recharge basins, 1.5 miles of channel improvements, and over 100 supporting structures with a maximum capacity of 80,000 acre-feet of stormwater capture. This project allows the region to maximize stormwater capture in wet years and store it underground, protecting our future water supply. Projects like this show what's possible when a region comes together with creativity and shared purpose, balancing flood protection, groundwater recharge, and long-term reliability. Yeah, it's pretty impressive for those that have been out there. Turning our attention to the State Water Project, where we recently saw an increase in the allocation. The Department of Water Resources has raised the allocation from 40% to 50%. The increase incorporates the effects of March storm events, improved reservoir storage, and stronger runoff projections. On the right, you'll see how this year's allocation compares to recent history. From 2020 to 2022, we experienced a string of very dry years, with the allocations as low as 5%. In contrast, the recent 3 years, 2023 to 2025, have brought much wetter conditions, with allocations rising to 100% in 2023, 40% in 2024, and now 50% in 2025, where the allocation is likely to land.
Can I ask a quick question on the last
Absolutely.
bullet point? What does that mean? Capacity for transfer supplies unlikely?
Capacity for transfer supplies. So this is a metropolitan slide, so they try to give a little more of the behind the scenes. I don't know that I can fully explain the capacity to transfer supplies there. I'm not sure if anybody else has a good sense of that.
So I think their statement is that their system is basically full. So they don't have capacity to move water to other places and kind of share capacity. So, it kind of makes a statement towards they should have more capacity. The State Water Project needs more capacity, but I guess it's also a good statement that there's enough water to be filling their capacity. I talked to Devin yesterday about, where are we parking the water? Because remember, at about a 30 to 35% allocation, they balance. So we're 15 to 20% to the good, so there's surplus water. What are we doing with it? Which accounts is it going into? And I actually opened up a conversation with Devin yesterday. I know staff's been working on it, but is there something we can do with SARCUP? Can we park some of that water in SARCUP? We still have, I'm not sure, we still have money left that the board gave me authority to spend.
Yes, 13 million.
Yeah, so we got 13 out of the 20 million left, so we might be on a shopping spree for water because there's surplus water, and SARCUP only has about 9,000 acre feet out of 180,000 acre feet of capacity. And so we'll be looking for ways to move that surplus water into SARCUP also.
Okay. Well, kind of related to that, I'm sorry, this is slightly off
Yeah,
your
Josh, sit down.
report.
We'll figure this out.
But you mentioned that Met has, is it 2 million acre feet allocation from?
When they have 100% allocation,
Right.
so they'll have 1 million acre feet this year.
That was my clarifying
Yeah,
question I was going to ask.
That's a
Okay.
great transition for this slide.
Okay, perfect.
So of the 50% allocation, you'll see here, that's about 50% of that bar you see. The other, more or less 50%, is Colorado River. So those together make the 1.77 million acre feet of supply that we have right now through Metropolitan, right? You'll also see the demands. These are updated monthly. The demands are at 1.59 million acre feet. So there's a surplus there of 180,000 acre feet this year. So to Craig's point, that surplus, we're working very closely with them to see what kind of water management programs might be available to their agencies, SARCUP being one of them. And kind of bringing it all together, so far this water year, we've seen the average statewide snowpack, strong reservoir storage. While local rainfall has been below average, we're still in a regional surplus, that 180,000. So really that bottom right there kind of sums it up. Supplies, demand, surplus. So that surplus gives us greater flexibility to support water management programs is what we're hoping for, to improve the drought resilience and carry momentum into the next water year. And before we wrap up, we wanted to acknowledge a few timely highlights. May 4th through 10th is marked as Drinking Water Week, a national observance, recognizing the critical role of safe, reliable water and the people who deliver it every day. In addition, May is also Water Awareness Month, a great reminder of the importance of water in our daily lives, as we all know. With that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
Okay, any questions from the board? No? Thank you, Josh,
you.
for all that good news.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Okay, is that it for you,
That's-
Craig?
that's it for
your
me. Thank you.
And staff? Okay. We'll move to director's reports and requests. SAPA, Mr. Gardner?
SAPA met yesterday, not at SAPA because they are
Oh, that's
finally
right.
beginning the refurbishment of their offices, installing some ADA upgrades and some building security. Their building essentially has no security now. Anyone or anything can walk in the front door and go anywhere in the building unimpeded. So that will change. I say anything because they've had some rather large dogs amble in, some friendly, some not. They adopted a resolution establishing rates for fiscal year 25-26 for the brine line. Those are effective July the 1st. Had a fairly long discussion related to an Arundo abatement project. Actually, it's supposed to be an eradication project. Arundo is known as giant cane. It doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of use for much of anything. They make clarinet reeds out of it. But it is a very thirsty plant. It's very dense. Wildlife can't move through it. Water doesn't move well through it. And it spreads really easily. When you get heavy water flow, it will bring a little piece of Arundo from upstream, and it will get deposited downstream and build a new stand. The discussion centered around the herbicide that is being used and whether that's the proper one. OCWD, one of the SAPA members, their board has directed that they will not use glyphosate, Roundup to most of us, anywhere in their service area. So we put off an action on expanding that project. Staff is looking at alternative herbicides that don't have the issues that glyphosate has. And we'll come back probably 30 days from now. There's not a set time, but as soon as they can, with a report on what else is available that may have fewer negative impacts than the glyphosate does.
Doesn't the Regional Water Board, the pesticides permit have a list of allowable?
Yes, and it's on it.
In water.
It is allowed by, it's allowed by the regulators. But they're,
Monsanto has a lot of money.
yeah. They have less now than they used to.
No, you'd think.
So I think that will move forward. We may switch the herbicide that is applied. We may not. We'll look and see what the report from staff is. And that was it for SAPA.
Okay, thank you, Director. Metropolitan.
Metropolitan, oh boy. A couple of noteworthy actions that were taken. So the one that had a lot of discussion was the 35 high voltage power transformers for the Colorado River, and how these are going to be built in Austria. This is a specialized equipment, and their deliverables are going to be, I think 5 a year, and this whole project is going to take like 7 years to replace this equipment that's never been replaced. It's been in place since it's been built, and they've been doing Band-Aids this whole time. And so now it's time to get into moving this stuff. So there was a lot of discussion about this, a lot of questions, a lot of what are the guarantees of the equipment, what are the warranties if it's sitting on the shelf, because they're only giving, you know, a 3-year warranty or whatever it was, compared to, well, wait a second, it's not even gonna be installed for 7 years. So deliveries on all that was a big discussion. And the tariffs were a big discussion of how that's going to affect the end game price, because this is not, you know, cheap, go to Home Depot, buy equipment stuff right now because you want it. This is all gonna be a play in how this is all gonna be delivered. So a lot of conversation about it, and ultimately that did pass. So now it's gonna be timing and seeing how all this is gonna go, and how they're gonna progress on the installation of these various different components that moves Colorado River water to Southern California. So, the other big thing that is going on that I am part of the ad hoc committee is the recruiting firms for hiring of the new general manager for Metropolitan.
Didn't that just happen?
It is, so the current general manager, Devin Apatier, wanted to retire a couple of years ago. And he is staying as a favor to the requests of the board. We've attempted to negotiate with him to extend that contract. He's declined. And so his anticipated exit is at the end of the year. So we are in full-blown scale launching of recruitment, and we're now in the process of selecting a firm. We're talking about all of this. After 2 meetings at Metropolitan during Aqua to have these discussions of how we're going to go about this, I've realized that this committee is going to take a lot of my time. So we'll be doing a selection. The board has authorized the ad hoc committee to do the selection process, do the interviews, and ultimately to hire for this recruiting firm, parameters that are going to be set forth, job description, the whole 9 yards, all of these discussions. And obviously, this is going to be a very big deal. We need a successful candidate that's going to be able to move us to the vision of what we need to have for Southern California water. And so there's going to be a lot of discussion, and I'm not taking it lightly at all. And I know that this is going to be a significant investment of my time to be a part of all of this. And it was a little interesting because there were, the chair made it very clear what the parameters of this committee were going to be when he was doing committee assignments and rotations at the beginning of the year, and now people are realizing that this committee is doing that, and he's had others that want to do that, and they can't come on there because then it constitutes a quorum. So he was very careful in his selection of who is going to be a part of this, not to violate any of the quorum issues. So I'm fortunate, I think, or maybe not, we'll find out at the end of this, that I am part of this process and at least get to put forward some of my experience and hopefully help guide this recruitment. So more to come on that. It is going to take us several months, and we're hoping that we have somebody with an offer and in place by the end of the year. Okay. So more to come on that. And like I stated before, I'll be traveling up to Sacramento. So part of that is talking about the governor's plan and pushing that, and having Metropolitan take a stance and move that forward. So the Legislative and Communications Committee was invited to go and be a part of that. And so we'll be going up to Sacramento to take those meetings on and hopefully communicate lots of this. So that is all I have. Thank you.
So I know you make it kind of sound like it's easy and not totally time consuming, but we know differently. So thank you. Okay, report on Chino Basin Water Master. Mike, is it next week?
Water Master meets tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, okay. All righty, and CDA doesn't meet till the first Thursday in June. And RCRA, I had the opportunity to represent as the alternate to RCRA as Fazia was driving back from Aqua. Whole nother story as to why I didn't make it to Aqua, but someday, if any of you are interested, I'm happy to tell you. It was challenging, but it was a very, just a really weird but unique experience, and not horrible, thankfully. There was a point there where I wasn't quite sure what was happening on my way up, but it was all resolved, and I didn't get to go. So RCRA have big shoes to fill there because Fazia is the chair, and I tried really hard to have them have the vice chair lead the meeting. They were like, no, you're her alternate. You can lead the meeting. So I was like, okay. Thankfully, it was very straightforward. And I'm just looking here to see which copy I wrote. Oh, yeah, here's where I wrote my notes on. So we had regular consent calendar items, which went through just fine. I did abstain from the minutes of the April 17th because I was not able to be there. I try to go to the RCRA meeting, so just in the off chance, because Fazia never misses, but just in case she does, I at least have a little bit of working knowledge of RCRA. I had a feeling. Yeah, that was probably really hard for you, I bet.
I rushed back, but I got stuck on 71 and 210.
Oh, well, I think I carried your banner, but, so our action agenda, there were just 3 items. There was authorizing the administrator to issue a purchase order for the, excuse me, N2W, which is the name of the company, for the design services for blower replacement at the RCRA treatment plant. The other item was consider authorizing the administrator to issue the purchase order for the design services for dewatering equipment replacement at the RCRA treatment plant. And Fazia did have a really good question on those, that it showed a start date of 5/1. And the gentleman was there from N2W, and he said that when they originally submitted the bid, that was the estimate of when they anticipated it to start, but yes, that would be adjusted. So good question. And then approve the updated sewer system management plan for recertification by state order 2022-0103-DWQ, whatever that represents, I don't know. That's a living document that is updated about every 5 years, and then apparently there's an audit every 3 years. And then we had an operations update from Brian No, and I always like listening to him because he is so passionate. Not that you all aren't, but he is so passionate about what he does. And he had compiled a PowerPoint reviewing, you might remember the fire that was there, kind of reviewing and updating from that. So it was interesting and well presented. And let's see, I think, yeah, Gary gave some administrator comments, which I can try to decipher my notes and tell you afterwards. Let's see, I think this was one of his, the JCSD, which they were not there, and I think it was because they were all up at Aqua. So, yeah. So the recycling project that they are overseeing is a bit behind due to the contractor. And they'll be bringing an update on, the staff will bring an update on that in September. The budget looked good, and OCWD apparently bulldozed over something. Let's see, what, they bulldozed over something when they were, They were doing weed abatement, and so they're covering that, and so that was good. And I think that was it, and the next meeting is not until Thursday, September 18th. Unless, of course, I'm sure they'll call a special meeting if they had to. So we adjourned at 3:43, and no one knew if that was a record, but it was just funny. They were just joking about it, and I thank you for the opportunity to do that, because it was, I've enjoyed going to those meetings and learning about wastewater, and, you know, I've just barely scratched the surface. So I'm glad that you will be there for every other meeting for the rest of your time.
But I do appreciate you going and representing us, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Okay, WRCOG.
Yes, WRCOG. So there were a lot of things on the agenda talking about IREN, which is the Regional Energy Network Program, and a recent grant award that was given. And so they've got a lot of stuff that are going on with professional service agreements. They've got a lot of programs that are being facilitated by that, workforce development, a lot of different things that are going on with IREN. So it's nice to know that they're being able to transition from the past and the little debacle that happened to now this. So that's all good. And then one thing, and I don't know if I reported this the last time, but it is now that we are selected as a finalist, and I guess this is the first time in a 75 history of this happening. WRCOG as a region has applied to be a All-American Cities and receive that award. Yes, All-American
As a
Cities as a
region.
region, so all together. And so this is the first time in this. So, yeah, so it's interesting because this is the first time that they've done it as a region like this. And I guess it's an extremely prestigious award that's handed out. We are now a finalist.
Wow.
And so we're on the short list of 20 finalists, and they hand out apparently 10 awards. So we got a 50-50 shot at this. And
my
if
gosh.
we actually receive this award, which will be handed out in Denver at the end of June, I guess we're allowed to use the logo, as we were awarded this as part of WRCOG. So more. So hey, look, we're going to take the award if the award is given. So. So this is kind of a big deal, so I'm looking forward to that. We're trying to find out if I'm going to be taking a trip off to Denver here to be a part of that. I guess there's an entire production that's done in like a pitch that everyone is given an opportunity, and we have a set schedule, and then I guess we're up last. And so we get to be the very last ones to do this pitch, and so I'm really looking forward to talking with ARCOG staff and figuring out what this looks like, and then
cool.
and then the awards are going to be issued, I guess, on Sunday. So it's a Friday, Saturday thing, and you've got to be there to kind of see the whole production and see everybody's pitch. And I guess this is not just a PowerPoint presentation, so it's going to be a big deal. So more to come on that. I'll keep you posted, and hopefully we're successful in that. And then obviously the big event of the season is General Assembly, and that's happening in about 3 weeks. So I did some filming yesterday at the March Air Museum, and at the middle of the day, in a cockpit, out there in the sun, in a flight suit. It's about 110 degrees inside that cockpit with no ventilation. So, but we got it done. We got it done, huh?
Which aircraft?
I don't know. It was one of the big planes and with wings. Yeah. So you'll see the video, and we had, you know, I think WRCOG's reputation has been we've had a little fun with these things in the past, and you know, this was the kickoff. Me and the vice chair, Jackie Castillas from the city of Corona, were at this, and we had our flight suits on, and we did our little skit, and it hands it off to everybody else to talk about their various different entities. So,
Nice.
so you'll see the final product. I will see the final product because they won't show it to us until the night of, but it's all good. So looking forward to General Assembly and getting that done. So really we've had some very good interest, and a lot of people have been speaking about our keynote speaker. A lot of people are really excited to listen to him, and people get to meet a four-star admiral, which is not something that you get to see that you've done every day. So, and that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. Sarah, I think you didn't have.
So I didn't meet, but I got to meet all the director and Jason at Aqua. So we just had a meeting, just
Nice.
knowing what's going on. So it was really good. Yes. So.
Okay, and speaking of Aqua, do you have a report?
Aqua, yes. So I was in attendance at Aqua. This one was a little bit challenging for me because of the GM recruitment and some extra meetings that were kind of thrown on my calendar as Zoom because we're doing stuff in such a fast pace. So I did get to see Craig in action. So I got to stand in the back of the room and listen to him debate it out over, rates and watch you moderate the panel and see some of those discussions. I did get to sneak into the awards that were handed out, so I was really excited to be there for some of my colleagues at Metropolitan. So Las Virgenes and Callegas were awarded, got an award for a project that they worked on together. And then our, what do we call it, our sister agency down here at Eastern, one of their employees got the fellowship award. So Pascal Cornejo got his award, and that was super exciting for him. I went and got pictures of him and took selfies with him. I had to, say, hey, you're now the celeb, and so he was really taken back. He is such a genuinely nice person, and so good at what he does, and a lot of people were just really excited for him. So I think it was certainly well-deserved, and congratulations to him and to Eastern for having him on staff. And I would just say to our general manager, we're not above pilfering talent. So, just saying. So, just saying. And I think that pretty much rounds it up. I mean, I got a lot of, I always get
Region
to.
9, did you have a?
Oh, Region 9, yes, Region 9. So, we had a good turnout. We did have a very good turnout. We've changed it up a little bit, and people have, my board and some of the leadership within Aqua have now said, oh, give Brenda the mic and let her go do her thing in the audience, especially with these polls and these Mentimeters and, all of these survey things that we do. It's about getting involvement, and if we truly want to have involvement, that we need to engage in a different level, because what's been working in the past is not working. And it needs to evolve into something else. And so one of the things that we're going to also be doing too, and to mark your calendars, because we have selected a date, we are going to be doing a joint event with Region 8, 9, and 10. All are going to collaborate on a joint event. That is going to be scheduled for November the 14th, and we're going to be holding it. We're looking for a venue right now in Orange County to hold that many people. We had subject matters, topics that were requested, at least by our region, that we took the poll on. Some of that was done, so we'll be looking at that. But one of the hot topics certainly was ag for our area. And then the other one that was really of concern was Colorado River. And people want to know what's going on with the Colorado River. I'm going to suggest that Bill Hastingcamp come from Metropolitan, because I don't know of any larger guru on Colorado River issues than Bill Hastingcamp. And so I'm going to suggest that he come in and do some type of a presentation during that. I suspect that is going to be pretty close to a full day. So if you are interested in attending that event, we certainly would love to have you. And I would just kind of block the day off so that you can be at that. Yeah. So, and that, thank you for the reminder, and that is all I have.
Okay. We'll move into director's comments. Director Torres?
Thank you. Just very short, I did attend the Mission Grove Neighborhoods Association meeting, and just thought staff and Craig in particular did a phenomenal job, not just in the presentation, he's given it like 15,000 times. For sure, right. But also managing the questions that came up. There were some that, irrelevant's maybe not the right word, but but really didn't tie into what's going on with the rates, and he just did a wonderful job answering those and engaging with them afterwards. I was very glad to see that, especially in those meetings that can get a little controversial, not necessarily with Western in this case, but good way to kind of get their minds off of what they're worried about, and particularly in that neighborhood. Got to attend, because I also didn't go to Aqua. I got to attend Good Morning Riverside. I was late, but I did get to see the keynote speaker, Norco Naval Officer. I don't know, I'm really bad with names, but he was amazing. I mean, just the amount of passion that he spoke with about one, that we have a base here, and the work that they're doing, and how it's it's seen and utilized throughout the world was really cool. So Raglan, I won't be able to make it. We're 2 weeks away from graduation, and still these last minute things. So I'll be with my children, but I don't even know. Do they still have a Zoom option? I don't think so.
They have in the past. I don't
Yeah.
know about tonight, but in the past they have.
Well, worst case, give them my regards. Tell them I'll be checking on how it went.
And Director Torres, I can confirm that Raglan will not have a Zoom option.
Thank you. Well, I would have done that, but yeah, I can't make it. It's just been so hectic, and everything is last minute. Like, hey, guess what? Your daughter's getting this. Would have been nice to schedule 6 months ago, but I know it's gonna be great. Whether it's full or not, I think people are really appreciating your presence, Craig. Woodcrest, I did also attend the Woodcrest Town Hall, although we didn't speak at it. Nydia was there, and there was another person. She was there too, and they did a phenomenal job. Also, vetting questions they were tabling, and she had a quick opportunity just to mention the rate hearing, and then that's really it. Just lastly, one thing that wasn't mentioned is Dam Safety Awareness Day is May 31st. So, yeah. How happy Dam Safety Dam Day. Huh? Yeah. May 31st is today? 31st, sorry. I was like, where am I?
Yeah, don't say that. I've lost the whole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that. 31st.
Director Risby?
Alrighty. So I did attend Aqua. I love going there. Now, 4 years into it, I feel like I know a lot more people, and then there are a lot of new people. So networking is the biggest part of going to Aqua, just meeting people. There was a group of us, rates was an issue that came up, and how it was a very, we were just sitting in a group, and we were just talking of how our agencies are approaching rates increase and adjustments, and I was really proud of, I was able to show off of how much work our agency have done. So I appreciate you guys doing it for us to be able to say, we've done so many meetings, we've had our general manager going and presenting, we've had, the reach out has been amazing, so great job, you guys. I was able to share with other directors what we're doing and setting some examples, so that was really good. The keynote was interesting. This lady, her name is Katie, I forget names, and she was from Atlanta, and she was talking about, similarities with California Water, and they do have conveyance and all that issues. Infrastructure was a big issue that she said that we really need to be focusing on at this time, infrastructure and energy. So it was very interesting. She had a very good presentation. Unfortunately, this time it's not on Aqua app. So I had reached out and said if we can, usually every time they have presentation, I don't like, I don't write notes, but they always have. But this time it's not on Aqua app. So I have asked them if they can share with us. So I will share with, Tammy so she can share with, for that. And Greg did a great job. I think we won the race. Yes, I think that was not yes. I think we had a higher score, budget-based race won. I believe that, but it was really good. Overall, it was a great conference, and I always enjoyed networking and learning about, Aqua JPI had a session. I think it was very interesting.
Tuesday morning.
Yes,
That was
Tuesday.
one of the ones I asked
Yes, yes. And let me share. That was the one. Yeah. You know what? It's not. My phone is not coming up. I'll share with you guys. It was very interesting about energy and groundwater recharge. So it was very interesting that I thought Aqua JPI is discussing these issues, but I'll share with you, Laura, I was thinking about you that you would have really enjoyed that. And I was surprised. At that point, I didn't know that you're not going to be able to make it. So I was like, okay, maybe she's coming in later.
I was surprised too.
Yeah. But we missed you. I'm always going around with you, so I missed you.
Oh, thank you.
So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Gardner?
I did not get to Aqua, but I did get tagged with going to Good Morning Riverside and making a presentation. Western sponsored this particular Good Morning Riverside. Every year we sponsor the one same time as Aqua, just without fail. So
We have been trying that for 12 years, and I think we may have made progress.
Okay.
I talked to Nick
Nick,
again
yeah.
and said, please. And he said, oh, well, you should have said something.
yeah, he said that's why you sent Gardner instead of somebody. So the presentation I felt went well. It was a slide deck put together by Sarah's team with one of our videos that we've all seen. Kind of a highlight of the video to me, and it will trigger for those of you who've seen it, is somewhere in the middle of it, we have an active major pipe leak, water flowing out of the ground and blowing stuff up in the air, and our crew is backfilling the hole. But it went well. Director Torres, I don't know if you were there for my part of the presentation. Director Roten was. Nobody threw anything at me. And probably the highlight of the presentation for me was at the end, because we're sponsored, I got tapped to draw business cards out of a hat for the door prizes. And the first one I pulled was my next door neighbor's card.
Oh, I didn't realize that. And they didn't play the music on you. So
No,
you
they
didn't-
didn't.
you
I
didn't go-
finished in time. And to Director Torres' comment about the Norco Naval Warfare Center, it is a super impressive place and incredibly important to the military of the United States. And not just the Navy. They coordinate all kinds of things. And you wonder what the Navy's doing in Norco, but there's no, everything is remote from where it's happening, and it could actually be almost anywhere. But we are fortunate to have it in Norco. They bring a lot of very technical, high-paying jobs to our region, and they're a real benefit. And it was interesting to hear that presentation. The captain in charge is a good guy. And that's it.
Okay, Brenda?
Yeah, one thing I haven't reported on is I went with Craig and Tim to the city of Marietta to talk water policy with city folk and answer questions that they have about various different things and keep our partnership and our collaboration. And it was a very positive meeting. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. And I just had a couple things to mention. One, I was happy that even though I was home, I was able to go to Good Morning Riverside, and Director Gardner did a great job representing Western there and our sponsorship. The other event I wanted to mention, this is not a Western event per se, but it's a community event in Jurupa Valley. Every year on the Saturday of Armed Forces Day, Jurupa Valley has a Veterans Memorial Wall that they put. It varies. Some year there's one name that goes on it, some year there's 4 or 5. Depends what's been submitted. And the names that go on the wall have to be people that have passed away but have given a lot to the community. We're very involved in the community. Now this year, they did that, but they have completely rebuilt the wall and moved its location within Veterans Memorial Park. So if you're ever in Jurupa Valley and you drive, if you take Mission to Riverview, make a left, Riverview becomes Limonite, right about where the park is. And you can't miss the memorial now because it faces out to Riverview, and it has beautiful metal letters, Veterans Memorial Park, and then the memorial itself is slightly off to the right of the lettering, and it sits kind of up on a knoll. And the way that they designed it, one of the directors was telling me he was really excited because he was in the Air Force, and he was able to put a little bit of a twist on the look of the memorial. So the ends of it almost look like the wings of a plane with the red and blue stripes on the sides. And then, of course, they had moved all the plaques over from the old wall to the new wall. And David Barnes, who used to own and operate the Riverside County Record News, which was a weekly newspaper for many, many years in Jurupa Valley, he's kind of moved from retiring from the newspaper to operating our VFW. He's kind of the backbone of our VFW there in Jurupa Valley. And he is a storyteller, which makes sense because he was a newspaper guy. And he can moderate off the top of his head a lot of these historical things. So part of it, and I won't tell you everything that happened, but he is so amazing and he's such a natural. So he reread all the names that were on there very quickly, title, but I would say to 3/4 of them, he was still able to say, oh, he owned the tire shop down on Mission, or he was the Little League, so-and-so, or I mean, he has it all up in his head. And then the 2 names that went on this year, forgive me, I know one of them because I knew him, Chester Gable, who was from LA Circus. And that's a business that is in Jurupa Valley. It's kind of a hidden gem, but it's a prop house. And it's very unique. And he passed away earlier this year, and I didn't know his name was going to be on, but it was. And so his family was there, and his son got up and spoke very briefly but beautifully. And then the other gentleman, forgive me, I don't recall his name. But I'm saying all this to say if you're ever in that area, and apparently it's lit up at night, which is new. And so I haven't seen it yet at night, but during the day it's gorgeous, and I imagine at night. And they put huge flagpoles for all the branches of the service. So Jurupa Area Recreation and Parks Department did it all. It's their project, their ceremony and everything each year. And I just have to give them kudos because I try to go every year. I don't always make it, and they're always good. They have the high school band playing patriotic music, all of that. But this year was especially special because of the dedication of the new wall. So I just wanted to share that. And they use water to water their grass. So, and they have a splash pad. And it was a crack up because as we were walking back to our car, we walked by the splash pad. And the high schoolers, still in what they were wearing from their band performance. We're standing under the stuff that just pours water all over you, just being kids. It was great. It was really great. So, okay, sorry, I went on a little long about that, but it was very special. Do we have any requests for future agenda items?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Wow.
Yes, I do. Two things actually come to mind. So going out to the March Air Museum and having had conversations with all the people that are out there working, volunteering, and doing such, wanted to know more about when the landscape demonstration garden is coming in. So if we could get kind of an update on that at some point to talk about what we're looking at, time-wise, details, those types of things.
We're planning to bring it to the board in August.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I will.
Can we wait till August?
I will share that because if they want to come in attendance, that gives them time to figure it
Okay.
out. So if you have a date certain, that would be good. And we could share it with our partners over there and
Sure.
they can ask their questions and do what they want to do. And then the other thing that I had a question that brought up to me and you know, perhaps it's because I don't get to attend as many committee meetings in-house anymore as I used to because I'm up in LA most of the time now. But I would love to see where we're at with the annexations for Marietta. How many things we still have left outstanding that haven't been annexed into Met? And what the timing looks like on that, kind of get an update, because I had a question asked and I don't know what the status is. I used to and knew how many outstanding parcels and dollars and things they were, but it's been a bit, so I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if we could.
Do you want an update, or do you want us to email you a map?
Whatever is easiest, I guess.
We can
Just
do
so,
both.
just so I know, and I know we extended the sunset on that, but I don't recall the date. So if I could get that information so I could be more helpful when the question comes, that would be great. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right, item 9, information items are there for your perusal. And our next meeting is Wednesday, how can it be June already? June 4th at 6 p.m. for our public hearing and meeting. Wait, is it, it's a full meeting, right? Not just okay, that's what I thought. Yes, okay, I did see that. All right, if there's nothing else, we will adjourn at 11:02 or 3? 3? Okay.